Have you ever felt on the outside, or ever wondered why others seem to know more about faith, or seem to be able to just worship just like that? The reality is, in John chapter 4, there's a story of the Samaritan woman, and she was out by the well, just filling water. And she was there at midday after everybody else had gone home. She'd be left on the outside. And Jesus stops and he encounters her. And he offers her water to drink, water that will refresh and renew and will help her to know life. Not just physical water, but spiritual water that brings true life. And by the side of this well, they get into a discussion about worship, about what's really important. And in this discussion, Jesus actually explains what's truly important in worship. And we find it here in John chapter 4, verse 23 and 24. Yet a time is coming and has now come when true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshippers the Father seek. God is spirit, and his worshippers must worship in the spirit and in truth. Two ways of worship. One with truth, one with our minds, one with knowing the promises of God, of all he's said, if you like, all the things that he's done, all the things that we know to almost be intellectually true. We can worship with our minds by thinking, by pondering, by wondering. But sometimes our thinking can get in the way. And worship comes from the Spirit. It comes from our heart. It's just something like living water that can't just stop. It almost bubbles over. There are moments when God's Spirit is testifying to our spirits that we are the children of God. And therefore from there, out of the overflow of our hearts, our worship just comes. Maybe a new song, maybe a prophetic word, maybe a moment of just pure joy, or a moment of just stopping in awe and awesome wonder. Worship requires both. The knowledge of the truth of God, declaring the truths of God, and the overflow of the heart, the overflow of the Spirit. And so when we worship in spirit and in truth. And our song today reminds us of that worship, of spirit and in truth. It enables us to be rooted in God, rooted in Jesus, in the truths of God. But it also allows us to have time to think and to release our spirits in worship. Just almost the overflow of praise, that overflow of declaration, that overflow of what God has for us. You see, there at the cross, you said it all. Everything changed. Everything was done. And from that place of truth, a spirit of worship was released. And so I hope that today, as you listen to this song, that not only will your mind know the deeper truths of God, but also your spirit, your soul will start to be able to sing. And there'll be a sense of freedom in your life as you worship God in both spirit and in truth. I hope you enjoy.
We're gathered here, the time has come to praise the Father, Spirit, Son. Hearts that are ready, free to respond. We join the everlasting song. We will worship you in spirit and truth. How we love to worship you. Let your name be praised again and again. Lord, we love to worship you. There at the cross you said it all. praise you, Father, Spirit, Son. We hear you calling, the lion roaring. The time is coming and it has come. Your word is moving, your river flowing. We praise you, Father, Spirit, Son. We will worship